Hello boys and girls, this is Miss Salazar. I'm going to be your teacher for the summer program, and we're going to be doing some science today, okay? So earlier in the week we worked with some bubbles and we made bubble art, which I hope you guys were able to make on your own and you had fun and were able to do it. Again, you can use that recipe for whenever you want to do bubbles, but on today's science experiment with bubbles, I'm going to be using another ingredient, okay? But before we get started, I wanted to let you know that if you can be outside again and do this experiment, it would be wonderful, okay? I could not be outside today because it was so windy and I could not get the bubbles right what I wanted to, so I'm going to make it inside so that you guys can see, okay? So again, all the materials are very simple and you can find them at home in your kitchen. If you cannot find them at home or you don't have them in your kitchen, they're very easy to find at the store, okay? So let me show you what the materials are going to be using, okay? So you're going to be using soap, any type of dish soap. You're going to be using water. You're going to be needing some sugar for our science bubble experiments that we're going to be doing today. So any type of sugar, granulated sugar, okay? You're also going to be needing a cup where you can mix everything in. A tablespoon. Remember, it's a tablespoon is the one where you eat with. A tablespoon is a big spoon. Okay, so to get started, very easy ingredients. And we're going to get started. You're going to be using the water and your tablespoons. For your container for today's experiment that we're going to be using, you're going to be utilizing 4 tablespoons of water. So make sure you have 4 tablespoons of water in your container. If later on you want to make more, you're more than welcome to make more, okay? But just to get started so you can see what the ingredients are, okay? So there's water, 4 tablespoons of water. Next, you're going to be utilizing 2 tablespoons of sugar. The tablespoons, when you measure them out, what I like to do is just put my spoon in, shake it a little bit inside so I don't drop anything. And as you can see, it's almost leveled off right there. So that's perfectly fine. There's 2 tablespoons of sugar. Just need 2. Okay, before we add the dish soap, I need you guys to mix your water and your sugar. We want the sugar to dissolve. We don't want to see any big granulated sugar, okay? We need to see just the water. And to do that, you're going to mix it a little bit. Be careful not to spill it on the table, and if you spill it, you just wipe it out. That is why it's perfect to be doing this experiment outside, especially with bubbles, okay? So you mix it well until it is dissolved. It might take a few minutes. Okay, it does not have to be dissolved all completely. You just need to make sure that it's mostly water and not, you can't see most of the sugar. Okay, once you have that dissolved, then you're going to put 1 tablespoon of any type of dish soap that you have in your kitchen, okay? So 1 tablespoon of the dish soap goes in. And again, very gently, make sure you mix the water, the sugar, and the dish soap. Just make sure all the ingredients are really mixed. I believe I have my mixture. To make sure I have it right, I'm just going to use my straw so I can see if I can blow some bubbles. If for some reason it doesn't work, you just need to add 1 more tablespoon of dish soap. But this 1 tablespoon should be more than enough, okay? Oh, there he goes. Yep, it's right there. There he goes. It works. Okay. Alrighty. So now that we made our basic mixture for bubbles. So remember, a regular bubbler only has basically water and sugar. Because we're doing this experiment, we're adding sugar, okay? But you don't have regularly, you don't have to add sugar to this to make a bubble mixture, okay? So a regular bubble is basically just water, air, and soap, okay? I don't know if you know this, but bubbles are made out of layers. And those layers have particles. Particles are tiny little things that we cannot see with our eyes. We need a special machine or a very big magnifying glass so you can see it actually. With a microscope is what I'm talking about. So these particles are made out of water, soap, and air, okay? So this is one of the things that you need to know. So if we look at the bubble and we cut it in half, the very thin layers is basically layers. So it's a layer of soap, water in the middle, and soap. So it's basically like a sandwich. The water is in the middle of the two soap layers, okay? So one of the things I need to know and how bubbles are made is because of these particles. So the water particles, they like to stick together, okay? They pull each other apart so they can huddle and stay together as much as possible. That is just what water particles do. I don't know if you noticed, but with this summer heat that is coming out, a lot of insects are coming out. And if you walk outside and there's puddles, especially after a rain, or there's a container that mom left outside with water, sometimes you'll see insects on top of the water. And you may be wondering why they would seem like they're walking on top of the water. And this is why. Because the particles of the water, they like to stick together unless there's something really heavy that can push those particles apart. Usually insects are so small, especially with their legs, they don't have enough force to pull the water particles apart. That's why sometimes it looks like the insects are walking on water, but it's just because the water particles, they like to stick together, and they don't, unless there's a big force acting upon them, they will not move. That's why it seems like insects and other types of animals that like to seems like they're walking on water, but it's because of the particles that they're in the water. Unlike the water particles, the soap particles like to pull apart, and they like their space, okay? So it makes perfect sense that it takes water and soap to make the bubbles, okay? You cannot make bubble only with water. You have to have both, okay? So, because when you make a bubbles, you need to have the layers. You have to have air placed into the layers, right, to make it a bubble. So, in order to make the bubble correctly, you need to blow into your wand or your straw, slow and steady. Otherwise, it's just going to blow the water and the soap out of the rim of your wand, okay? So to do that, let's do the wands, okay? To make different ones and to make it so that everybody may have a wand, because sometimes when you guys buy the already made bubble solution, there's only one wand. So if you want to make more, I'm going to show you a really easy trick to do it. So I went to the dollar store and I found this steel wire. It's just basically steel wire. It is very thin and very easy to manipulate. Really easy. It is not hard at all. Okay? This I found is really easy to make the wire one. So all you're going to be using is just a little bit part. Literally, because it's so thin and so malleable, you can use your scissors to cut the wire. Please be very careful when cutting the wire. If you don't want to do it and get somebody else, your parents, to do it and help you, please do so. Okay, so now that you have your wire. So I can make it a good wired, or a good shape of the wire that I can make the wand. I'm just going to use a tiny cup, and I'm going to put it upside down. See if you can see it. Get it? I'm going to wrap my wire around the edge of the cup. And I'm going to twist the ends so that it would hold the shape. Okay. Pull it out, and it's perfectly the size of the cup. That's why it's easier to make it this way. You can make tons of them. So this is the basic wire wand that you can make. I'm going to put, sometimes with the wand, it might fit and it might not fit. I'm just going to use a different container, just a little bit thicker. I'm just going to pour it into this one so you guys can see better. So this one's a little bit wider so I can put it in. Okay, another thing for this, for the wire, I'm just going to pull a little bit of the wire on top. So it would be almost like this, so that when I dip it into it, I can dip it and not touch the wire. So it'll be like this. So all I'm going to do, just going to dip it in, and there you go. Big bubbles, okay? Again, if you can make them smaller, if you want to do it, that's fine. Or make it bigger. It's up to you how to do this. So question is, if you look at the bubbles, has anybody wondered why they're a round shape? They're a round shape. Does anybody know why? I have a question. Would it matter if I switch the shape of my wand? So for example, what if I had a square wand? Would that make it square bubbles? Let's try it. Let's see. Remember, before you do this, remember about the layers of the soap and the water. So remember, what do you think your prediction is going to be? Oh, let me see if I can make it. Oh my goodness. It came out as a round one, even though there's a square shape. Okay, so let me tell you the secret. No matter what shape your wand is, the bubbles are always gonna turn into a circle because of the layers. Remember that I showed you that the water particles like to stick together? It's basically the same thing. So the water inside the bubble will not let the bubble shape be anything other than the circle, because it's always trying to pull itself together, except the soap is trying to pull it apart. So it has to make it a circle. So no matter what shape or form you guys have your wand, it will always be a bubbles, will always be round in shape. Okay? Alrighty. You could probably do this trick with all your friends and ask them to see what bubble shapes they're going to be making. See if they get it right. Okay, so for our experiment, we added some sugar to our bubble solution. And because sugar makes the bubbles a little stronger, okay? So basically what it's doing is adding almost a layer inside the water layer, if it makes sense. So it makes it a little bit stronger, okay? The only thing is that it will pop. It's like basically a bubble is like a balloon. So if you poke a hole in it, all the air is going to come out. So what the sugar did to the water is just made it a little bit thicker, that layer of water. It doesn't mean that it's not going to pop, because it will pop, as you saw, once it touches anything that is basically anything that is not soft, or that will not poke a hole in it. So I'm going to show you. If you have gloves, like winter gloves, basically winter gloves, that are made out of this not hard texture, okay, basically like the clothing. And if you do bubbles with the solutions that we just made, oh, I cannot get the bubbles right. Oh. There you go. It is flowing. Let's see if I can get it. Oh my goodness, I cannot. Now that I have you guys. Let me see. Okay. They will bounce on your if you have the gloves, they will touch them and bounce them too. Unless they obviously break at the end. But these are super strong bubbles that even if you do it like with what we like to do is also play, even tag or bounce them into them. Or sometimes I even seen like, have you guys done the ping pong? They use it with your glove hands, obviously, and try not to break them and pop them. You can do this. There we go. However many times you guys want to, or with partners, or with anybody else who wants to try it out. Okay. For some reason, this one is not letting me. Sometimes the bubbles inside the tray will not let it try it out, okay? So it's up to you guys if you want to try it out or not. Or you can do it with different ways and different times to do it. Alrighty. I hope you enjoyed your science experiments with the bubbles. If you have any questions, please let me know. I will try to answer in any way that I can, okay? Take care and stay safe, guys. Bye.